and you grab everything from the front and pull it to the back. When I met Bowlegged Lou, girl, shut up! I know you gonna. And I'm a little buzzed. I ain't gonna lie. Elder Barge. Her daughter was like, "Mom, that is not Rihanna."
Hello, and welcome to the Comedy Divas podcast, where we welcome funny divas from stage to screen, everywhere in between, to tell their stories, because you know what? They aren't told enough. I am your host and founder of Comedy Divas, Sharon B, aka Sharon Brathwaite. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a dope, funny, legendary diva in the house tonight. But before we bring her in, please subscribe, follow us. We can bring you more stories. You can learn about more divas. And I don't want to keep you waiting. We are having a legend to me in the house tonight. Let me just get a whole stuff out the way. A St. Louis native. She's a comedian, producer, a yogi, a DIY expert, and a musician. And there's a lot more, but we'll get on that. She's been on Comedy Central, HBO, Def Jam, stars with Martin Lawrence Presents. She's on Showtime. And, you know, she recently went viral on the Sherri Shepherd Show with her extra special skills. So without any further ado, we're going to talk about her life, her skills, her comedy, and her upcoming one-woman show. Please welcome B-Phlat. Woo!
Clap for me. Hey, Sharon, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being on the podcast.
As you can see, I've rested my voice. I sound a little better than earlier.
Well, I appreciate it, because I know we did talk about you had some things going on with your voice, and it's a sexy voice. We love it, but we're gonna keep it short, sweet, so you can rest, because you know you are rehearsing for your one-woman show. We'll get to.
And I'm rested my voice for this day. We've been planning this for the longest, based around my crazy schedule or me not having a voice. So I'm kicking it out for you.
And I so appreciate it.
I'm honored. This is my second time appearing on Comedy Divas, on your girl talk show. I love it. So thank you for having me on once again.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I'm a big fan. I think you're just like one of the best. You're a living legend. You do a great show. You're multi-talented, and a lot of people aren't aware of that. But let's get into it. So you are a St. Louis native. And let people know how you got into comedy, especially for people who may want to get into it themselves. What's been your journey?
Well, the funny thing is, I have always been sarcastic. So even in high school and college, I was always the one cracking the funny jokes, doing the pranks. And I never considered myself funny. But there were people who saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, who signed me up for a talent show. And then when we get there, they were like, "You're going on stage to do comedy." And I wasn't prepared. But the funny thing is, I was under the assumption we were all going down as a band, because I had my trumpet with me. And all of us played instruments. So I thought we were all signed up. And they were like, "No, we want you to do comedy." So I went up. It was a WHYY talent show at the television station. And I was horrible. But I played my trumpet and I told a joke. I just told a story. And I heard a few people laugh. It might have been like 300 people in there. And I would say maybe 6 people laughed. And I was like, well, at least I made 6 people laugh. And then I got off the stage. And ever since then, I just felt like, wow, I did it and I kind of made people laugh. So I just kind of worked at it. So my journey, because I don't compare myself to anyone. That's one thing about me. I'm not a fan of comedy. Like, I don't watch comedy. I don't watch comedy shows. I don't watch comedy on television. I've never been that person. I'm a fan of me. So I watch me, I study me, and I've always taped every last one of my shows on like a recording, from mini disc to CD to wherever we are now. And I have shows on my phone since 2013. So ever since I was able to transfer over and use my phone, because I have to critique myself. So I do it in 3 phases. I listen, then I close my eyes and listen, but I only listen for laughter. And then I kind of just make notes. And then I listen again with my eyes closed, and I just listen to me. to see where I made me laugh. And if I make me laugh, then I know the joke is like totally crazy because I know I'm in my own crazy. I'm like a mad scientist.
Well, that's interesting. Did you have any comedy influences coming up?
I didn't because I
Really?
thought, well, for one, the comedy influences that I could have had, we couldn't listen to. It was like the
Mm.
Pryors, the Red Fox, the Rudy Ray Moores, the Mom Mableys, and my mom was the leftover hippie. So that's the funny thing about me. Everybody be saying I'm the Black Martha Stewart. I'm a white girl in a black body because I really listen to a lot of soft rock, yacht rock, easy listening, and you'd be amazed at the songs that I know. But then my whole spectrum after that is like trap. I only listen to trap. Oh, exactly. So I never thought, I just knew I was going to be an artist. That was my whole thing because I went to school for art. And all through school, I used to design things. And I literally have things that are still hanging in elementary school and in eighth grade, like in the cafeteria, a thing that I designed that they hang up. And it's been hanging up there since like 82. So
Wow.
I never thought I would be a comedian. I went to school to do art. So it's funny how you never know your journey in life and where God is going to lead you. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let people know, because you're so multi-talented, how many instruments do you actually play?
3. I dabble in 6, but I actually play 3.
Okay, let's talk about what you are expert at and what else you dabble in.
Okay, so I'm an expert at playing the trumpet. I read music. I was trained on the trumpet and the piano. So I can play the keyboard, but I don't read music. So I can't play it together. Like I could read it and play this hand separately, and I can read the treble clef and the bass and play them separately, but I can't read them together. But if someone played it, then I can just play it. But looking at it and trying to read both, it's weird. I can't do that. But yeah, I read music. So, and people were shocked that I play the harmonica.
I love it.
Because I'm country. I grew up in the country. So that was like a thing, like to learn how to play or at least blow on the harmonica and play some tunes. But other than that, I dabble on the clarinet and a couple other, the trombone, because everybody in my family played some type of instrument. So we switched up and played a little bit. So like if I'm writing songs, and I write a lot of songs, when I was younger, we used to write songs, I would get on their instrument and say, this is how I want it to sound, or this is how it should go. And then I would play something separate. But I think I get that from my parents, because my mom was a piano prodigy. My dad plays the flute and the drums and the keyboard, and most people play by ear. So we were forced to play and learn how to play music, because my mother never learned how to read music. So she always wanted us to learn how to read music. So I'm blessed with that.
So segue into that, because you have a one-woman show that you're doing and you incorporate all of this. So let's talk about that and where it's going to be, how you're launching it, what cities. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Let's talk about it, because it's been going on since April. And I am very transparent, and I'll let people know I've had a lot of setbacks. And to this day, I don't have management, agents, or anything because of this. But the show is still going on. So I just really had to take a step back. And when I was having a setback, I didn't feel as though I'm having a setback. I just felt like I'm having a get back. It just gave me the more time to focus and practice and make sure I'm ready, because I don't like to get ready. I like to stay ready. So I was supposed to be doing this last October. Things fell apart, came back together, because they initially wanted me to do it in Los Angeles, and I just really did not want to do it there. I wanted to do it in St. Louis. So it all came to a head, and when it all boils down, I'm doing it in St. Louis. So now I'm just up against the production company that I'm using, with them working on another production. So it kind of fell into when it's a Seth Farland movie, a 21-day production, which they have to take over my 2-day event. So that kind of threw me in a, like I need them, but at the same time, it's only 21 days, so I can wait 21 more days to really make sure my shit comes together. So right now I'm shooting for June, which originally supposed to be May 1st. So now I'm shooting for like June 1st.
And so when people want to know when that show is going to be, they're going to need to follow you on all of your platforms.
Yes.
So where can people follow you?
Well, they can follow me on Instagram at Flat Out Funny, which is PHLATOUT and on Facebook at Hey B-Phlat or the B-Phlat fan page. I didn't make up none of these damn social media names or pages. My girlfriend started my fan page. Somebody else made the Instagram page because they were like, you need an Instagram page. And then they just did it. So I kind of just go with it, and I have to call their ass and be like, what's my login and what's my passcode? Because I'm old school.
I mean, you're old school, and just piggybacking on that, how do you feel about, because there's just a whole new age with social media and people actually just kind of being social media comedians and not really hitting the stage like, people who, have been in the grind out there. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't feel any type of way about it. Like you said, it's a new day and age, and we also have to take into consideration that their time on stage is very limited. They don't have a lot of access to the era that I came up in, when everybody had a room, everybody had a stage. You could go to New York and do 20 shows in a week and get the work in. So a lot of that shut down with COVID. So that gave people the opportunity to really do things on the internet, which spawned a whole nother, source of income for people. So I really, I feel like you just have to go with the times. You have to change, and you have to do what works for you. Now, I don't feel like I have to do everything, and I don't do everything, and I don't feel any kind of way about social media. I just do shit when I feel like it. That's just me. And I've always been like that. I'm very consistent. So I don't feel like, oh, I got to get a million followers, or because, I'm a fan of my fan. I'm not into me like that. I'm not like, what am I eating? Look at my makeup, taking selfies and shit. Because I feel like I know what I look like. Change next week or next month. I look back at my headshots from 15 years ago, and I still look the same. So I say to myself, people that, they take pictures every day and you're not changing that much. You don't give yourself a chance to grow. I feel like people don't allow themselves to really kind of see the change that comes about because you're expecting something different every day. It's not the real world. So I stick to the real world. And the virtual world works for me because I love it on a level where it doesn't cause me stress. I don't feel obligated to it because I'm going to continue working, and God has a plan for me. So I don't feel like if I don't get this many followers, I'm never going to have a show, or God has a whole plan for everybody. So that's why I tell people, you got to do what works for you and utilize it, and just stick to your guns. And that's what I do. I stick to my guns.
So let's talk about, you embraced social media in your own way with your DIY, with your two funny mamas. So let's talk about some of the things you have been able to enjoy through social media.
I definitely enjoy my podcast, which is on hold, Tighten Up Tuesday, which is a spawn from two funny mamas. Kim and Sherri gave me my own DIY podcast because they know how, one, I have OCD. I'm super organized, and I just love everything in order. And then I don't like to spend money. And that's where we always clash, because I am always trying to get them to not spend money, especially Sherri. And every time they want to do something, I'll be like, girl, why you gonna do that when I can do it? And they'd be like, no, you don't do that. I have a maid. And then I just start cleaning. And like when Sherri goes away, she comes back and her whole house is redone. And she'd be like, I didn't know where to hang those pictures. And she just loves when I come in and do all the things she's going to pay a person to. And I'm like, girl, please, I can put this on my show. So like with my basement, that's what really spawned it. Because my basement used to look amazingly horrible. I mean, like a real basement. And I flipped my whole basement. It's like 4 different spaces for less than $300.
Wow.
And all this stuff you see, I built them doors, them sliding doors came from outside. They're actually closet doors from like an IKEA closet. Because if you look closely, you can see the little holes where you're supposed to put the shelves. And my neighbor was throwing them away. I said, "You tripping?" So I took the wheels off of um, a chair that I had and put them down there and made these sliding doors. And I only spent $6 on those hooks. I already had the pole. I was like, I'm not buying nothing if I don't have to. So that's what I do. I like to just work with the things that I already have. I flip everything. So I
So
like to go out and do that. And that's what people hire me to come out and do. Come in and flip a space. With
so it
the,
sounds like you're an amazing house guest because you come back, you might hook a place up.
but I am not an amazing house guest because I'm very honest. And like when I walk into people's house and there be stuff everywhere, I'd be like, "Damn, why is these shit?" I just don't like. So a lot of people, if they know I'm coming, they start getting stuff in order. Like my sister and my even my mom, because they know when I walk in, I'd be like, "Why is this shit on the floor?" And like, "Oh my god, who?" And then I just start cleaning, and they don't like that a lot. And you know what? I get it. As I get older, I used to think that I was helping when I would go home and start cleaning up people's stuff. But now I know how they feel because I don't want, not that you would have to come in my house and clean anything, but I don't like for nobody to clean nothing in my house. Like even my friends sit and they want to be like, "Girl, let me help you with the dishes." I'd be like, "No, I don't want you washing my dishes." Because I just feel like that is, if you're my company, you see what I'm saying? I want you to come over and be company. But
Yeah.
like I go home to family's house and like people dishes are stacked up, I start washing them because I feel like obviously you ain't had the time to do them. You're so busy. Right. I start cleaning up, doing laundry. And then my sister be like, "Don't wash my clothes. You don't wash my stuff to it." Then I'll be like, "Well, get it off the floor." Because I got to stay here too this weekend. So I'm that person. So I'm trying to be more tactful. I'm not very tactful. That's what it is. I don't always have the tact.
So being that you've been a vet for so long, what are some of the challenges that you faced as a black female comic?
That right there, that's the number one challenge. Because we're last on the totem pole. So I'll give you a prime example. I was in Atlanta maybe like 3 weeks ago, and all my black female comedians came out to support me that I know down there. And we do that because we rarely get to see each other. And it was like at least 5 of them I hadn't seen in like 10 years because we don't get to work together like that. You know, guys, they don't, most promoters are male, 90%. So if we do get on a show, it's usually just like maybe 3 guys and a female. So they will never just put together a show unless it's like Women's History Month. Exactly. Or Mother's Day or something like that, where it could just be like 2 females and 2 guys, or 3 females and 2 guys. They would consider that an all-female show. And that's not going to happen. So we're always last on the totem pole because we feel as though, one, we have to fight to prove that we are funny because, one, people automatically assume that we're going to just talk about sex, talk about men, male bash, and not have a broad range and scope of material. So when you do have that, your chance of working are less because now you're competition for these men that are funny. So they rather for you to say, you just talk about a man because they can be like, "Oh, I'm giving you 10 minutes and you get off," because they don't want you to get further. So now you're a headliner and you have a whole range and all that. It's harder to work because it's like now, oh man, she's a beast on stage. And it's like, oh, who gonna go up after her? So we get that all the time. So they'd rather not book us unless we're in the middle and not as a headliner, like on a big show. Because it's like, oh man, I don't want to go after B-Phlat, or I don't want to go after Vanessa Fraction, or I don't want to go after Coco Brown. They'd rather for us to just all be on an all-female show. So that's the challenge that we face. But like all of us are friends, and like we always say, we don't worry about that. We just stay funny. All you got to do is just stay funny and not worry about what everybody, other people's insecurities.
Do you think things have gotten better? I mean, you on Def Comedy Jam, you've been, doing this a long time. Do you think things have gotten better
Better in what sense?
in getting more opportunities, getting more chances on stage, getting on more
Oh,
tours?
you know what? Ever since the Me Too movement and all of the things with Black Lives Matters and just women, Black women in power, and just how we're just, showing up in Congress and in the Senate and in politics and on the news and just all over. I think that it's given us a better outreach. We're getting more visibility, definitely more, and just women, and Black women in general, in music, in all the arts. So I think we are in a good pocket right now, and who knows how long it's going to last. So you do have to take advantage of, the phases that we go through in this world. So I just read a thing on CNN and said, what happened to the Me Too movement? And that's true. Just like they're taking Black Lives Matter right off DC. So, they scrubbing that. This movement that we're in, who knows where we'll be 4 years from now.
Yeah, it's a crazy time right now.
Crazy times, but that's the way of the world. There's always 100 years ago, it was crazy time. Something happened. You know what I mean? That was a crazy time. So it's all relative to what you're living through. But I just feel like as long as you have faith and you walk in faith, you're going to be insulated from a lot of this craziness in the world.
Amen.
I do believe that.
So what was your first joke or your first big joke you got to laugh and was like, yeah, that's the one?
When I never forget it. My first big joke that I got to laugh when I used to do, and I don't even do this no more because I've seen 1,000 people do it. The joke about how our parents trained us not to use public toilets. So like when you were a little girl, your mom used to take you and hold you over the toilet and it would be trickling down the back of your leg and she would just pat up your leg. And then you went from that to squatting and learning how to squat and grip your drawers in the middle. So that was my favorite joke because I used to always get a laugh about how you, even if you had glasses on, you would hold your glasses and grip your drawers. Or you would ball your coat up and hold your coat and your draw just so you can see exactly what you're doing and don't understand while you're squatting. And that was my first joke that I got a lot of laughs from. So that's how I knew that talking about real life things that people can relate to is what my niche was. Because I don't talk about superficial topics, things in politics, or unless it's just something related to me. But I try to talk about things that happen to me and in life that people can relate to and don't want to talk about. So yeah, that was the thing about how you have to. So now it's on a whole nother level. And when you go through menopause, my grandmother told me, because now when you can't, older people can't squat. You know that, right? So my grandma said, you don't squat no more. You just go in there and you straddle the toilet and you grab everything from the front and pull it to the back. She said she be standing right over the toilet just like this. And she grab all the stuff from the front and pull it to the back and make sure she don't be on the I was like, all right, Grandma, you got to learn that when you get bad knees when you get older.
First of all, I got a visual.
You know what? That's why it's called menopause, because when you go through menopause, you start going through man stuff. You start straddling the toilet and peeing like a man. You pulling chin hairs, plugging nose hairs. That's man stuff. That's why they call it menopause, because men pause and they look at you like, damn, you start to look like me. That's why you heard it when people say when they get older, they start to look alike. Women be having sideburns they used to be up here, now they down there, looking like a damn beard. I'm just saying. So,
oh my gosh.
Straddling the toilet becomes a whole different phase when you get older. You
Oh
still
my God.
put your booty cheeks on it.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's the truth. That's the
Oh my gosh.
I talk about, because it's real life.
And this is my producer's JB, my bro, and he sending me some notes. We have you on our Comedy Divas platform. we've posted you, and you're on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, I can still hear the music. Your Instagram has gotten a lot of views, but we put you on Facebook, and it was the weed ATM one you do.
I smoke a lot of weed, but I find that I do dumb stuff when I smoke weed. I ain't gonna lie, I done punched my PIN number in the microwave about 5 times trying to get some money out. You ain't never did that? Oh, girl. I knew I had just called the bank. They told me I had money. I'm listening to them. I go back in the kitchen. I was all like, boo, 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 boo. Ain't nothing happened. And I was like, let me get on the phone again, because don't make me have to go up to the bank. Because this teller is tripping, this ATM machine.
And you have over 1 million views
on
our Facebook page.
Oh, that's what's up. It's funny. It's like, how do everybody else get the views? I can't get the damn views.
Well, you know what? We'll show you.
I don't even know how that works.
Yeah, but you have over 1 million. People like it. We got a lot of comments. People loved it.
That is funny. It's like somebody else said another clip that I have went viral and hasn't been. And I'm like, why it ain't on my damn page? How everybody else got my clips going viral? I can't.
Well, your Sherri clip, what you doing that split, you know that went viral.
I know that went viral. They did send it to me, and Chris posted it on my thing. But it's like, and then Chris on my producers at Tighten Up Tuesday at Menopause Media, they have a clip that they posted on their Facebook page that went viral. And I was like, why would I post my own shit on my own page?
What's up with your YouTube page?
Oh, girl, that's a whole nother story.
All right, we'll talk about that, because you need to get your YouTube and get your views
I need to
up.
get it straightened out. And unfortunately, the person that created it, remember I told you all these different people?
Oh, yeah.
So I have 2 pages that are connected, and we can't get into it. And when I was on the phone with YouTube, they won't give me the information because I don't have the original.
Oh, yeah, that's.
And I don't want to lose my name.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a whole another thing that I'm trying to get worked out. It's like a legal thing.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna hope that happens for you, because you are way too funny to not be capitalizing off of your own funny.
Well, I ain't worried about YouTube. I'm trying to capitalize off my own website. Shit, that's what I pay for.
And what's your website?
B-Phlat.com. I ain't trying to make YouTube no more money. I'm trying to make my own page money. Yes, that's B-Phlat.com. Everything that you watch on YouTube, you can watch on my damn website.
There you go. They heard it. B-Phlat.com. There
you
go. So who would be, because this is, we're about celebrating Black women in comedy. That's what Comedy Divas is all about. So I know you didn't have any specific influences growing up, but if you had a Mount Rushmore of Black female comics or women in comedy, who would it be? The 4.
My 4 would be Lunel, Coca Brown. Who else do I love? Queen Aisha. These are my personal favorites. And who would my 4th person be?
As I hear the clock ticking in your room.
Right in front of me. The clock that was made for me.
That is so funny.
So trying to think who, like, when I go see them, who makes me.
And think about, maybe it's somebody in a sitcom that you saw that's a funny comedic actress.
Adele Givens.
Love Adele.
I love Adele.
All of those ladies, you're great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those would be my 4 around, because you know what it is. I love how they evolve. I love how they're just funny and have an array of material. And no matter when you see them, they're just always funny and consistent. And that's what I like, consistency over the years. So they would be my Mount Rushmore.
Awesome.
Yes.
And I'm jumping a little bit, but we talked about before that your skin is amazing. And I'm sure women will be like, sis, you got to run me that skin routine, because it's glowing. It's beautiful. So what's your skin routine? And then talk about something you said to me before off air about when you need to start doing this. So this is something I didn't listen to myself. So
okay.
Talk about that skin routine.
I have always taken after my grandmother, who's like a diva, rest in peace, but always was about make sure you have your hand creams. And she always taught me, you heard that old saying, don't leave the house without clean drawers on. in case you got to go to the hospital. But my grandmother was, don't ever leave the house without at least a little mascara on and a red lip. Because you always want to look like a lady no matter what the situation is. So I've learned that like all through when I started wearing makeup, maybe like 8th, 9th grade, like a little lip or whatever. My grandmother's classic. So I always just used to do the things that she would do. Put Vaseline on my feet at night and sleep with socks on. But she would go so far as to do it with gloves, old people. And I was like, I can't be doing all that. But I always used to use Noxzema. I know it's old school when people be like, girl, don't nobody use that no more. People like, don't nobody use Blue Magic. I still use Blue Magic on this hair right here. I be and slap it right on. And people be like, well, what's in your hair? I be like, Blue Magic. I'm so old school because I feel like stick with what works. And you should only change your routines if you see your skin changing or things progressing. So, for example, with me, I do use Noxzema, but I wash my face with just warm water in the morning. Then I splash it with cold, a whole bunch of cold water because it tightens up your skin and your pores. So I've been doing that for years. And even at night, even when I wash my makeup off and use like makeup wipes, put the Noxzema on, clean out my pores, and then I just start use the warm water, make sure I get all the night, and then splash my face with cold water. I also every now and then, like every 2 weeks, I put like a cold pack on my face, just like ice in the bag. I just put ice in a grocery bag. I don't be doing nothing, and put a cold rag right over my face. And put the bag right on my face and just let it sit for like 5 minutes. And it helps with bags under your eyes and the circulation in your skin and your capillaries and keeping your skin tight and the collagen. I'm going to be 57. So I tell people that, and you have to start doing that when you're young.
That's right.
So do microdermabrasion. You know them little razors that everybody get to do their eyebrows? I pull my face back and I get all the hair off your skin. You've seen people that when their makeup is on and then you can see the peach fuzz and it look caked on and look crazy. You have to do that. And I just do it with a dry blade. Once my face is tight and clean, I just pull my face back and just take the blade. I've been doing it for years, even in college. My grandmother showed me that. And get all the little hair off and just go all the way down your nose and with the dry blade and get the hair. And then clean your face with witch hazel. When I get done, girl, I've been using witch hazel forever.
Witch hazel.
Yes, it's a good astringent. And my mom used to beat me like crazy. And I used to have a scar across my face. And she wouldn't let me go to school for like a whole week. And all she did was put witch hazel on it. And she said, you don't need to go to school. I guess not. With this big ass scar across my face, but that witch hazel got it. You can't even tell because she was beating me, and the belt slipped and the buckle hit me in the face, and then she all felt bad and wanted to give me ice cream and chips and let me stay home. I bet you are gonna let me stay home. Because if I don't stay home, I'm gonna have a new home, but. Yeah, so I always use witch hazel. I do the micro, and then I don't use like a lot of. I use oil of Olay moisturizer.
You all the way old school. But also, I want to talk about too, because it's not only the face, but it's the body. You're very flexible. These are all the things that people need to do from when they're young too.
Yeah,
I had to. But talk about flexibility and how important that is. Because you can do a split. I can't do a split.
I really got into fitness when I got into college and saw how poor I was and couldn't afford things, couldn't afford meat, or couldn't afford to be sick because I didn't have health insurance. I took it upon myself to take care of myself. I became a vegetarian, stopped eating crazy stuff. I just started doing yoga because I said to myself, I'm wherever I go. So there's no excuse for me to not work out and do something to stay healthy because you can't afford to go to the doctor. You can only need to go to the doctor for your 1 year physical and for him to say you're okay. So I've always had that frame of mind. So I've been doing this since 89. when everybody was like, why you eating yogurt? You don't eat chicken, you know. And that's the thing. I started out young. I don't eat meat. I haven't eaten meat since 89. Only fish I eat now to this day is salmon, and that's because I had a hysterectomy in 2014. And I couldn't have my hysterectomy because I had low iron. My blood pressure real low. So I had to get shots, and I had to get iron shots to build up my blood to get the damn surgery. But the doctor did say I can't get everything from a supplement. So that's one thing I don't recommend. Like, there are people that are like vegans and don't eat no meat. You can't get everything from a supplement, and you can't overload your system with a whole bunch of supplements. I take 16 a day because I don't eat meat and I can't be missing out on certain things. But now I'm learning that instead of taking vitamin D, go outside and run or take a walk, so I can cut down on all the supplements that I'm taking. So I'm, doing, like, I juice every day. Every day I make like fresh tangerine cuties with oranges and the blood oranges and different types of oranges in it, and an apple for a little sweetness. And I put fresh ginger in it and turmeric. And I drink that a little bit when I take my supplements every day, all week.
So what has the longest tour you've done, and how hard is it to stay healthy on the road?
See, now I'm going to be very honest. I'm one of the people that if I can't find the things that I want to eat or need to eat, I won't eat, which is not good. So what I'll do is drink a whole bunch of liquids. I'll be like, oh, let me get some water. Let me get a seltzer. Let me drink some tea. Because if I'm in a hotel but now we're in it. Okay, back in the day before Uber or DoorDash, before you could have somebody deliver things to your room, you might be at a hotel that only had the hospitality open for a certain time, or they shut down and you can't get this, and they only got pizza. I don't eat stuff like that. So I'm one of the people, I'm always have stuff in my purse. An apple. I've always taken snacks, little nuts, pieces of broccoli, carrots, things like that. Because like when I land, I can nibble on that until I can figure out what it is I'm going to eat. And if I don't get to eat until I get to the club, then I'll get a salad. I'll have like soup and a salad. But I just don't be roaming around the airport eating anything, because they really never have things for me to eat. So I'll go to like the Starbucks now that they have, and get like a piece of fruit and maybe like a muffin or an egg white sandwich or something like that, and a coffee, because I do drink coffee.
So what has been your longest tour, and what has been your most memorable show?
My longest tour was in England when I was doing the bases, and we went all over Europe, and that was about a month. And it was challenging to eat, but I worked through it because there was a lot of base food. So they would take us to like those commissaries, and I would get, like nuts and snacks and things like that.
Did the jokes translate over there in England?
Yes, because most people, we performed on the bases. And then some of the
military bases. Okay.
Now, some of the places in England I performed, if you don't understand them, your English will not translate. But because I had the pleasure and the honor of being there so many times on the bases, I got to do things off base. So you would learn the lingo from the people that would come that lived in the neighborhoods. So then it was like, oh, we want you to come and do a show in England. But yeah, there's the things that we say here don't always mean the same things there.
And vice versa. I've seen some amazing Black female comedians in England, and a couple of the words is like, I'm not going to know that. It's very regional, or
exactly.
for it.
So I performed there enough to know what to say and what means what, and so that's the great thing. And that's the funny thing I have to say. One of my memorable and most wonderful places to perform was in Manchester, England. It was with Rodney Perry. And that's because everywhere we went, even along their highways are called like M3, M2s, M5s. So even along the M's, you could see the billboards I have never in my life, in all of my 1,000 performances, had a billboard. And then we was riding along the highway and we would see the big ass billboard of me and Rodney. And we were just, and it was like on the awning at the theater in Manchester. And I can count how many black people was in there. And it was sold out, packed. And that was like one of my most memorable shows because like everywhere. And the guy, Nathan, he was driving us around just so we could see the billboards. And I was like, damn, man, Rodney and I were just so amazed. I think it was like 2008. We never had billboards along the highways, and they were like everywhere. He spent a lot of money to promote our show all over London. And we were in Manchester, which is like an hour and a half drive from London. So that was one of them. I'll never forget that. I felt like a superstar.
Nice.
I don't even like to feel like that. I mean, they had like bodyguards everywhere, and I was like, it's just me. You know what I mean? It was weird, but they really treated us like mega superstars. And I just felt weird, like all of this is unnecessary. Just have me something to smoke and have my money. Because I'm looking at all these billboards. My money don't reflect all these billboards. I was like, shit, y'all could have gave me some of this billboard money. But I soaked it in, and it made me realize how people see me and view me. That was that moment, because it was like a whole bunch of hoopla. We were on like media, the news and different. It was wild. It was wild.
Did you get to meet, not even on that tour, but who was the biggest like person that you met that made you was starstruck by? Oh, you had to drink.
Now, I know this might sound crazy because I'm not really starstruck by a lot of people. I done met a whole bunch of people. But I have to say, when I met Bowlegged Lou, girl, shut up. I know you was going to.
I know Bowlegged Lou. I was a producer on Unsung, so I helped produce his the Full Force Unsung. I know him.
Starstruck because he came up to me at my show in New York at Gotham, and he was like, and I was like, oh my God, and I have met everybody, girl. I was so starstruck when I met Bowlegged Lou.
I love it.
My era, and I'm just down home like that. I don't care. I never asked to take pictures with people. People always ask to take pictures with me. And I was like, can I please take a picture with you? And he was like, yeah. And I was telling everybody, girl, everybody I was telling was like, who you talking about? I was like, girl, you remember Bowlegged. I was like, you don't remember the, what was the name of that group?
Full Force.
But everybody remembers them from the movie.
From House Party.
I was like, no, they had all the hits. Lisa.
Yep.
Yes. So I have to say I know that sounds crazy, and I have met everybody from Isaac Hayes to Shaka Khan to James Brown. I've met them all, and every comedian out there, just about that of all people. I know that sounds crazy.
I wasn't expecting Bowlegged Lou. I wasn't.
That's why I had to take a sip, because that's the only person out of all the people that I've ever met. And I even rode on the when you're in the airport and they ask you to with George Clinton. I was right. I rode on the thing with him at like to another terminal. And I ain't say, "Ooh, can I please take a picture with you?" I was just chatting with him because we were at the gate.
Wow.
Flying together. I mean, a lot of these people that I come across, a lot of people in the industry I already know. So you'd be amazed at who I know. But yeah.
Wait till Lou hears that. He's a really nice guy too. I'm sure he was nice when you met him.
Mm-hmm. I love him, girl. I love Bowlegged Lou. So every time I'm in New York, I always text him, let him know if I'm there, if he can come out to a show. And but yes. He actually was like, can you take I was excited to have his phone number, everything. And he's still in my phone. And girl, I'm going to tell you right now, when I lost my phone, my grandmother found it. It's funny. But I was only concerned about if it was 2 phone numbers in my phone. I was like, Lord, people see Bowlegged Lou number and Jill Scott number in my phone. They're going to have their number. I wasn't concerned about nobody else's number. Ain't that crazy?
I love it.
Yes, I was like, people can't be having Bowlegged Lou now. Calling them, playing on his phone and Jill's number. So I was like, Lord, let me find my phone. But it's funny, my grandmother found it in her house. I had lost it, misplaced it in her house somewhere. That was years ago.
Oh, that is so funny. Well, who is the like dream person to work with? Anybody in comedy is like, this is like the biggest like dream to work with, male or female?
You know what? I have to say, I love working with Kim and Sherri.
Nice.
I love when we're out doing our shows together. Like if I open for Kim at Punchline. I love that we have a great fit. Like we all know our lanes. We don't overstep. We're all super funny. I have to say, I love working with them. They're the best because nobody feels like we're in competition or anything with, and they don't be like, oh, they funnier than me. It's just all love, and they're so supportive of me. So
and you all have different comedy styles. Completely.
Exactly. So I have to say, I love working with them outside of Two Funny Mamas and Tighten Up Tuesday, just on the road.
That's awesome. No, they're both legendary in their own way.
Yeah.
They both have their own lanes and bodies of work, and they're funny. They're just just funny. Yeah.
And smart women. And that's what it is. Most women in comedy, we're all super smart. Like I don't know none of us that haven't gone to college and got a degree. I mean, I don't know not one. Whereas I can name a whole bunch of dudes that just jumped in the game. Not to say that they're not smart, because most comedians are super smart and we're witty. But when you have a different educational level and your scope and your range of the world and your knowledge of, if you've been different places and broaden your horizons, I just think it makes your comedy better. So women, we tend to venture out more. We get out, we do girls trips. We do all of that and broaden our horizons more so than men.
And how did you meet both of them? I'm sure it was totally different stories.
Well, I met Sherri, like about 30 years ago at a show in Cleveland. And she was coming in to just kind of like make a guest appearance. And she actually stayed and watched me close the show. And ever since then, we've been friends.
Nice.
So in 2006, she opened for me. She brought me out for my one-woman show. I did a one-woman show called St. Philly, My Black Utopia at the Acme Comedy Theater. And Sherri Shepherd did, and we've been tight ever since. Ever since she did that for me and helped sponsor it and put up money to, help bring that one-woman show together.
Now you love to hear that. Queens supporting queens.
Oh, Sherri's always been supportive of everything that I do, and anything that she could bring me in on, she always has. And then Kim, I met Kim through Sherri. So it's been years, not as long, but we've become closer because Kim and I are Deltas. So we always teasing Sherri because she wants to be a Delta, and we keep telling her quit asking. How can I be? And the first thing we all say is quit asking. And it happened. So yeah.
Oh, I hope it happens for her.
Well, yeah, if she doesn't,
it should. I can't see why she's not honorary yet.
That's what I'm saying. The only way she'll get to be on is if she does honorary, or if she go to college.
Right. I know.
See her about to do no 4 years.
Now speaking of meeting folks, you have a wonderful husband you speak of all the time, who's a younger man.
I have. Even when I start to doubt him, it'd be over a little petty stuff in my mind. We be in our own mind. I have to say, I have the greatest love of my life.
How'd you meet?
I hate telling the story.
Oh gosh.
So my husband is 16 years younger than me, and it just so happens that when I moved on this block in 1996, my neighbor, who is Dennis's aunt, his mom used to come over and visit, and this is when Dennis was like 5, and I didn't. You see what I'm saying? I didn't even know who he was. Because me, the aunt, and his mom, all of us would hang out. See what I'm saying? We on the porch smoking weed, just chilling and not paying attention to 5-year-olds. Because I was like 20, 21, somewhere.
Right.
When his mom passed away, he never came around anymore. Like his dad wasn't gonna be bringing him over there to hang around women.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like that was with the mom. And it was funny because I had not seen him for maybe like 14 years. And by that time, he was maybe longer. He was a grown person. And it was funny because he had said he was coming to one of my shows, and I didn't even know who he was. And this was on MySpace.
That shows you how long ago it was. MySpace.
Yes. And he came to the show, and I said he was stalking me, but he said it's not stalking, it's hard walking. So he was hard walking me because I didn't even know he was there. So then he came to a second show. Now, the funny thing, at the second show, I came off stage. When I walked past him, I went in the bathroom, and I was like, wait a minute. That's Peachy's son, Dennis. Because I remember what he looked like as a kid. And then I was like, so then when I came out of the bathroom, I walked up to him. I was like, Dennis. And he was like, yeah. I said, aren't you Peachy's son? And he was like, yeah. I said, you a grown ass man. I was like, let me get you a seat. And ever since then, and that was August 10th. That's one thing about my husband. He's so sentimental about dates. He keeps up with all the dates, our first everything. August 10th, 2009.
Wow.
So we've been together ever since. Ain't that crazy?
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So we got married in 2010, and we're celebrating our 15-year anniversary this year in September.
Wow.
And
congratulations.
Thank you. I don't know where we're going. It's so funny. He's already got it planned out. So he said he's going to let me know, like once we get on the plane, but he's got it already planned out.
Oh, that's wonderful. So ladies, you can still shoot your shot at a younger man.
A lot of my friends, they need to stop with all that because it be these old people out here, they don't know how to act either. So
listen, young fools grow up to be old fools. It's just in you or out of you.
My husband, I have to say, he's blessed. He with an old soul. He had old parents. He's grew up more or less as the only child. So he has an old soul. And when I met him, he used to wear them old man socks, them silk socks, and silk boxers. And I'd be like, Bug, you're not supposed to have them. He'd be like, well, my dad gave this to me. My dad. I'm like, just because your daddy gave it to you don't mean you gotta wear it. You can't be wearing silk socks and silk drawers. So old spirit. But I have a lot of older girlfriends that date younger men, like 10 years younger than them. And because older men, we're in different levels. When you're an older woman, it's different from being an older man.
Yeah.
Older women take better care of themselves than older men. So you need a younger man to keep up with you.
That's true.
Older men like younger women because they know younger women don't know shit. They can show them and do anything to them. They think they got them. They got them hooked because you can't run that on no older woman. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can't run the game on us. That's why they get them young girls. Get that Viagra or whatever it is that they need and be buying shoes and stuff. It's going somewhere else to eat. So
I'm gonna get you out of here soon because I know. Listen, and I appreciate.
And you see, I'm having my famous flash. And you see, I got my flash rags.
That's right.
Got a flash rag.
That's right. And what are you drinking? We'll talk about that.
You know what? I do want to let people know because I am really trying to get these. So here it is. I am on this. I have a national seltzer sponsor. So it's regular seltzer and infused seltzers and sodas. So we have regular, which are called Cheers. See these? It says Cheers. Just regular seltzer water. This flavor is creme de la creme.
Hold that up to your camera.
I'm holding it up there because I want people to see that it was designed by my fan. It's like
Oh,
Picassos. Those are my fans. Like Beyonce has the Beehive, I got the Picassos. Because we're all DIYers and artists. So, and then if you keep turning it, you see my little character on the side.
nice.
And then my Delta. See that? And then that's me right there. Takes you to my website. So, yes, I'm on these cans. I'm on 2 of my favorite flavors. Mighty Kind is my sponsor. I was actually drinking this pineapple flavored. This is THC. It's 10 milligrams, and I'm a little buzzed. I ain't gonna lie. But if, like I tell my friends, if you want to drink this instead of smell like weed, weed smoke, you can drink it. But yeah, we have THC, Delta 8, CBD, and hemp in all different milligrams from 5 up to 20.
Nice.
Now these are just regular cheers. They're regular flavors. There's nothing in them, just flavors.
And what's the name of it? The company.
Be Mighty Kind.
Okay.
Yes, like be nice to people. Be mighty kind. Yeah, so if you go to BeMightyKind.com,
There you go.
You always get 15% off anything that you order, and they ship anywhere in the United States and its territories. So if you put in my promo code when you check out, put in Picasso, you automatically get 15% off.
We got it up there.
Don't get that off of my pre-order cans. This is what I'm really promoting, because I want people, when they come to my taping in St. Louis, to bring their cans, because I'm going to be signing them after we wrap during the wrap party.
Okay.
So the thing is to get these printed. So I'm 63 orders from getting these labels printed on the cans, and they go out.
Yeah.
And they're 4 for $20.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get 4 of my cans if you order the 2 different flavors. That's $40 for 8 cans of the cheers, and keep it as a collectible. And like they say, don't open one. You keep one closed. That's the one you bring for me to sign.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you got it.
Or something. Exactly. Yeah. So you don't know nobody else on no can.
That's right.
That's like being on the Wheaties box.
That's for sure. You're the only one. You're the only one. Yes.
I know that's on the can. I am on my own seltzer.
That's
my
right.
Favorite flavors.
That's
Cream,
right.
cream and orange jasmine. But yes, they come in all kind of crazy flavors. Like this is a new flavor out called pineapple. But I'd be drinking the banana kush, the orange dream. They got root beer, lemon heady.
Well, we gotta get her to that 63 people. Yeah. Let's go.
63. Go and order your signature limited edition Picasso can.
All right.
On it. Yeah, they have a collaboration with different, like they've done a collaboration with Bill and Ted's Silent Adventure.
Oh.
Yeah, they're on a can.
Okay.
So it's, it's an honor to be on this can. It's going down in history. And once we get these pre-orders in, then you'll be able to just order them right online, and they'll come to you within that 5-day frame. But right now, you have to get order a certain amount in to get the labels printed. So I'm 63 orders away from getting my label printed and these cans going out.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Thanks, JB.
Thank you, JB. He's amazing.
he got it up. He got it up there for you.
Yeah, I like how he threw that up there.
That's right. That's my bro. So I just want to talk about some current events, some topics.
Okay.
Have you seen what's going on with Wendy Williams?
Yes.
And what do you think? Should we free Wendy?
You know what? It's like they say, it's 2 sides to every story. I feel we don't really know the predicament in terms of if she is able to handle her own stuff. If not, why did someone take over? Mm-hmm. That's my question. Mm-hmm. So now, to the extent of how, I don't know, she's being captive, I don't know how true that is. I don't know what her limits are in terms of, can she go somewhere? Is she allowed to be out? I know they have like gags on her, orders on her in terms of like what she can say, but I feel like someone had to step in for a reason. So I don't know.
It's really mysterious.
Very mysterious. And see, that's the thing about being That's be one of those things that'll come out 50 years from now. We'll never really know what's going on because it's a private thing. It's a physical thing.
Mm-hmm. There's also like some money grabbing going on. You know that's the thing too.
It's a money grab thing going on, but I feel like there's something underlying. The common denominator is there's an underlying issue where she has to be there.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So are you team Drake or team Kendrick?
I'm team Kendrick.
And why?
I love Kendrick because he's an artist. Drake is an entertainer.
Okay.
Very creative. I love Kendrick because he's an artist. I like that he can freestyle. I like that he's conscious. And I like that he just don't give a damn. And he sticks to his guns. Drake is for the people. I love what he does. He's poppy. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
He is based on his fans. Kendrick don't care if he has fans or not.
Did you like the Super Bowl halftime show?
It was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah, I just thought it was okay because I could tell he was censored and really couldn't do what he wanted to do and how they made him move through. So I like the concept, but I don't know. My favorite Super Bowl was when Dr. Dre and them did their thing.
They did their thing.
They did that thing. That was very memorable.
That it really was.
Kendrick is an excellent performer. I love that he's creative, and I love that he reaches out to the community. Kind of like he the new Hammer. You know, he bring everybody. He try to make sure everybody works. Hammer, everybody work. You know, Hammer used to have a 1,000 people out on stage with him, and with his productions, and everybody got paid. And that's Kendrick. When he put on a production, he makes sure he put on a production, everybody get paid.
Yeah, but poor Hammer, he paid people so much he ended up broke.
But now that's the difference. That's Hammer, and that's the difference between him and Kendrick.
Yeah.
I don't see Kendrick going broke.
What do you think of? Do you know about everything that's going on with Jess Hilarious and the Breakfast Club?
No, I do not.
See, when you get a chance to catch up on it, it's crazy.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying, Sharon. That's the kind of stuff I don't be catching up on. I'll be
well, I'm gonna let you go, but we have something we call Diva Dozens, and it's just quick fire questions, and we're gonna hit you up real quick. So here is Diva Dozens. Okay.
Okay.
First celebrity crush.
El DeBarge.
Go to karaoke song.
White Wedding, Billy Idol.
Ooh. Cooking or being cooked for?
Cooking.
Talking or texting?
Talking.
What song you and your hubby get freaky to?
Ja Cure. Oh Lord, what is that song?
It'll come back.
What will it take, my love? What will it take, my love, to show you? Yeah, that's our freaky song.
Window or aisle seat?
Aisle.
Favorite city to travel to?
New York.
What was your nickname growing up?
Stank.
Love it. Would you rather have a time machine or a magic wand?
A magic wand.
What's your guilty pleasure TV show?
Flip. I watch marathon episodes of the Flip that comes on Destination Channel, or it's called and it's funny, I watch it all the time with Lara Spencer.
Oh,
sounds like Phrugal Phlip.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about when they do old things and they repurpose them and they make flip. Flea market flip. Okay.
Flea market flip.
Okay, I actually like that show.
My guilty.
Okay, who'd you rather, Cat Williams or Kevin Hart?
Cat Williams.
And if you could be this person for a day, who would it be? Oprah, Beyonce, or Rihanna?
Rihanna. I would be Rihanna. That's because when I was in the airport, this white lady walked up to me. She was like, Oh my God, my daughter loves you. She loves you. Can I please take a picture with? Oh, and then she called her daughter over, and the daughter was like, "That's not Rihanna." Then the white lady walked away. She was like, "Sorry," and then they just walked away from me.
Oh, I love it.
I was cracking up. I was like, "But I was impressed." I was like, "Well, obviously she thought I was Rihanna."
That's well, that's a compliment, baby. That's a compliment.
Yes, she's like, "My daughter loves you," and I'm looking at her like, "I know her daughter watch comedy." And her daughter was like, "Mom, that is not Rihanna." I was like, "Oh my God, sorry."
We all don't look alike, but you know.
I know, but I think that was a compliment.
I take it too. Rihanna is that girl.
Maybe I could play Rihanna's mom.
Hey. And just one last thing I say, and I dedicate to my mom, who said, "What for you can't be for you." She's Jamaican, and that is in the line of "What's for you is for you." So, what is your shot? If you're gonna take your shot of your dream project, call out whoever you want to be with and work with. What would it be?
Who would I work with?
Yes, or project. What is it? Your dream?
My comedy special.
Okay.
And my own show, Phrugal Phlip. My own DIY show, Phrugal Phlip.
Well, let's put it out in the universe and make it happen.
The universe, and it's gonna happen.
Oh,
amazing flips. Amazing. I amaze myself. And then it makes me want to come home and flip shit in my own house. Because I don't like for other people's stuff to look better than mine.
I hear you. But I just want to give you a shout out for wearing our shirt. Can you see that? Can we see that Comedy Diva shirt? I so appreciate it. Comedy Divas.
I got it out. It's time to start getting summer clothes out anyway. I was like, let me go and start pulling my t-shirts back out.
Appreciate the love, B-Phlat. Thank you so much. Everybody keeps following B-Phlat, following all the social medias to check out her show. And we rolling that IG and that website. That's JB. That's my bro. That's my producer. Thank you so much. And we will keep in touch. We're going to keep following. We're going to keep supporting you because that's what Comedy Divas do. So thank you for being amazing and thank you for being an icon. B-Phlat. B-Phlat. Thank you.
Stay beautiful on purpose.
Thank you. You too. And thank you for joining us on Comedy Divas. We're going to bring you more funny divas from in front of and behind the cameras. And keep watching, keep following, keep subscribing. Peace. Thank you. I'm Sharon B.